We have this period in the Middle Ages when thousands of people were crossing Europe as pilgrims with all sorts of motivations, sometimes in penitence, seeking forgiveness, atonement for some crime they committed. You could be sentenced to a pilgrim journey by courts, and several of the records we have for people coming to St Andrews have been actually people who committed some sort of crime. There's a famously documented one of somebody who committed a crime in Belgium and was sent on a pilgrimage to St Andrews by the court, by the judge, to atone for it. So penitence, healing. Many people, of course, felt that they could be healed by the power of the relics of a saint or by going on a pilgrimage. All sorts of spiritual reasons, but also I think many of them simply wanting to get away from their village. It was about the only way you could travel in the Middle Ages was to go on pilgrimage, and historians think that at any one time, at the height of the pilgrim boom, which was the 13th and 14th century, perhaps as much as a quarter of the population of Europe were actually engaged in pilgrimage, sometimes away for months. And we, of course, get all the stories like the famous Canterbury Tales and stories of pilgrimage. It was a huge enterprise in the Middle Ages, and of course a big business enterprise. If you think of St Andrews, which is entirely laid out as a pilgrim city, with the two broad streets, South Street and North Street, where the pilgrims would, and in many times I think it would be a one-way system because there were so many pilgrims, they'd come up North Street to the cathedral, venerate the relics, have a service in the cathedral, come back down South Street, and then Market Street, of course, in the middle was where all the shops were and all the sort of touristy side of it went on. So it's always been, and it's something we might come back to, a very fine dividing line between tourists and pilgrims. So booming in the Middle Ages, and then of course, well, everyone says it stops with the Reformation, and it's the Reformation that kills pilgrimage, but that's not quite right, certainly in the case of St Andrews, because actually the numbers coming to St Andrews were dropping off very significantly 50, 60, nearly 100 years before the Reformation. The Scottish Reformation, as you know, came in 1560, and actually pilgrims were dropping off to St Andrews by the end of the 1500s, and so there were various reasons for that, which I won't go into. But what's very exciting, and we'll come on to talking about, I think later, is the recent revival in pilgrimage.